Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the all-employee meeting, and also, more specifically, welcome to my presentation, which is on employee engagement. I've called it a nice, aptly named presentation, which you've all seen before because I circulated this last week, which is basically, I love my job and my job loves me. And that's the title of my presentation today. So what I and Darren, who I'll introduce in a second, will be taking you through is a bit of a journey about the subject, which is a very important subject of employee engagement. And what you may or may not know is within the HR, I suppose, team or remit within the organisation, we are very much going on a path, on a journey to ensure that we have the right level of employee engagement. Some great steps have already started to be made. There's also some great steps coming out in the future as well, and it's one of those journeys that I and my team can't do on our own. It's something that has to be that two-way thing, two-way process. I was saying to someone yesterday as well, only yesterday, that a lot of the ideas I have in my job role actually come from you, i.e. the employees within the organisation. Because it's you that are at the coalface, and it's you that's actually doing the work, the day-to-day work, and you know what the challenges are, and you know what the stress points are as well. And that feedback helps me develop the sort of people strategy within the organisation. So please keep giving that feedback. This will be an interactive session as well. You've already participated, so those that have filled out the quick survey have already participated in this presentation as well. And I will be giving you the results of those questions that we sent out a few days ago as well. And as we go through the presentation, I've got a nice flip chart here, because both Darren and myself will be opening the presentation to yourselves to give feedback as well. And if you've got any great ideas, then bang, we'll get those up on the flip chart as well. So without any further ado, that's me, Richard Scott, Head of Human Resources, just been with the organisation now just less than a year actually. My anniversary comes up in November. I'm joined by Darren, who is the Head of Property Management and within the Andertons Group down in the Kent branch. And Darren will be bringing in an aspect as to why it's important to him and his team that we get employee engagement right, because it does have a knock-on effect with our clients, customers out there as well. So thank you, Darren, for helping me. Okay, so let's start the journey then. So what are the session objectives? So what I'm hoping to do is give you a bit of an understanding of what employee engagement actually is, because a lot of people think it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that. I'll be giving you exactly what employee engagement is. As I go through the presentation as well, I'll be talking about what our group strategy is. As I say, some of it you've already seen, some of it's already been implemented, and I've certainly been talking about what we're doing around this through numerous communication channels as well. I then talk about roles and responsibilities in engagement. And then, as I say, provided live and interactive feedback as we go through. And ultimately, I'm trying to find the key to our hearts. That's when I get an R. That's what we're after. Okay, so where are we now then? So I did a quick poll last week and asked the question in the poll to basically say how many out there actually love their job, how many people out there just do enough to get by, and how many don't give a rat's, proverbial, about their job as well. And I've got the results, so we know where we sort of stand. And that's what we got. So 56% of our staff love their job. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant statistic. Very, very strong sort of starting point. 37, so it's okay. I do enough to get by. I come in 9 o'clock, do enough, and I leave at 5:30, and that's enough for me. And then 7% of people really don't care about their job whatsoever. Don't care about the job, probably don't care about the organisation, may well be looking to leave. Now, I'm not proposing that we're going to have 100% of people in this organisation who are going to love their job. Impossible. It will never, ever happen. What I do want to see, though, is converting the 37% into loving their job, And then finally, those that don't care about the job, don't care about what they're doing, not interested, we're looking to turn them into, it's okay, it's enough to get by. Okay, because that's the sort of people we are after in our organisation. If I could get 100% loving their job, fantastic, but it's never going to happen. We're all realists. We know that life changes and goes off in different sort of patterns. But when I ran that, I was quite impressed with those. I don't know if the audience think that's quite good percentages. I was quite happy with that. I deliberately forced you into yes/no answers, though, on the questions. I didn't want anyone sitting on the fence on this one, and I did force you into sort of the yes/no to give us a nice little indication as to how we're doing. Okay, so here's your definition then of employee engagement. So engaged employees are defined as those who are mentally and emotionally invested in their work and are contributing to their employer's success. So basically, they are the sort of people that come into work, they're engaged, they want to do well for their own personal values and also ultimately for the organisation as well. That's what someone who is engaged in. Not someone that's coming in, maybe surfing the internet, doing a bit of work here and there, and off they go at the end of the day. Okay, it's someone that really brings their whole self, their whole personality, their passion, their dedication into that work environment. It's not this. Yeah, okay, we come out every year and we ask you to give us a bit of a steer. That's not employee engagement. That's just a metric to enable me and others within the organisation to understand how are we doing, whereabouts are we. Okay, so it's not just about filling out a survey. Okay, that's not employee engagement. It just helps me, as I say, understand whereabouts we are in the organisation. And why should we care? You know, why is this such an important matter? Well, there is loads of empirical research out there, loads of studies, universities, professional bodies that have looked at this subject, and they have come up with basically the fact that those that are engaged will perform 20% better than those that are not. Okay, and they are 87% less likely to leave the organisation. Okay, that's why it's important, that's why it matters, and that's why we're striving for it. Okay, because we want to retain our dedicated staff, our hard workers. We want to keep them in the organisation. Okay, because if we keep that experience, keep those people, look after them, ultimately they're going to look after our clients and customers. And that's what it's all about. It's all about that whole engagement sort of piece. And it's not all about what the organisation gives, it's a two-way process. If we don't achieve it, we're never ever going to achieve the mission that we have as an organisation. I'm sure you're all familiar with the mission. You are going to hear it a few times mentioned. But we have gone out there, our mission as an organisation is saying through excellent customer service. Straight up there, we realise we're in the service industry. We are there to support our clients and customers and keep them happy. Okay, to achieve that, we have obviously got to keep you happy, keep you engaged, keep you wanting to deliver that fantastic service. And ultimately, what we're trying to achieve as well with employee engagement is just to make this as part of our organisational DNA. So we're not thinking about what we're doing. It comes naturally to our managers. It comes naturally to our leaders. Okay, so we're not thinking, oh God, it's the annual appraisal time this year, HR on my back to get them completed. It's actually I want to sit down with my staff. I want to have a one-to-one. I want to start discussing where their future lies and what development we can actually do with them. And it doesn't become a chore or a tick box exercise. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do, is get that ingrained in our organisation. It's not an overnight thing either, you know, it's not a magic switch that I can just turn and make it happen. It takes time, but we are on that journey. Who's responsible? Everyone. I think I've mentioned it a few times how it's a two-way process. You're involved in the employee engagement side of it. Managers are senior managers within the organisation as well. But it is very much a leadership function. So it's very much the leaders, the leadership skills within the organisation that actually really drive it forward. You are all leaders as well in your job roles. You don't have to be managing people to be a leader. okay, because you're leading your own portfolios, your own job roles, your own engagement with your customers and clients. You may not even be customer facing. I'm not customer facing, but I like to think that I support you in your duties to be able to give that fantastic customer service to your clients. So everyone's involved, and it's leadership that really drives things. Okay, so again, looking at sort of studies into employee engagement, they've come up with 10 main pillars of how employee engagement works and how we can actually improve them. And I'm going to introduce you to those 10 pillars here today, and I've also going to give you some of the results of the questions that you gave against these 10 pillars as well. I will try and shoot through these. How am I doing for time, by the way? All right, good. I think you all know I can waffle on, so. Okay, so number one then, pillars. Relationship with managers. So 75% of people don't quit their jobs, they quit their boss. Okay, so there could be people in there that absolutely love their job, really enjoy it, but actually they're led by a bad manager. Okay, and they quit their job because of their poor manager. How do we have to improve this? Well, we've got to invest in that level within the organisation. Okay, we've got to look to train them in achieving employee engagement, achieving how best to interact with our staff, how to treat them in a one-to-one sort of basis. How do we do that? Well, it's through coaching, training, direct feedback, and also giving them the opportunities to develop as well. Okay. Only yesterday I was presenting to the OMC, the leadership team, our group learning and development strategy. Okay, so these are things that are being thought through at the moment to come through to make sure we can improve in this area as well and give you the skills to enable you to do this. So I asked this question, you should be familiar with it. I asked you all, in the past 12 months, has someone talked to you about your progress? I got that, 77% agreed, which is good. It means some of the mechanisms that we've got within the organisation have been embraced and are starting to be used. Can we do better? Of course we can. We can always do better. Pillar 2 then, happiness. Happy workers are 12% more productive. Okay, 12% more productive. What is productivity? In our world, I'd probably say, the level of customer service that you're giving and how happy you're making your clients at the end of the day in doing your day-to-day work. How do we improve that? Well, we've got to respect our employees. Okay, we've got to have a culture, a DNA within the organisation that shows respect, that understands that we are all different individuals. We've all got different sort of backgrounds, but equally we respect ourselves and we respect each other and our backgrounds as well. We've got to embrace you to ask for ideas. Again, I mentioned you're at the coalface. We've got to get that information off you to find out how we can improve things. Again, those sort of ideas sometimes are good ideas, sometimes they'll go forward and implemented, but they never happen just overnight. So you might have a good idea, put it forward, just don't always expect it to happen the next day. And that show genuine concern for our individuals as well. Have that empathy, understand that things are not always going to be great and how we can support staff in those periods. So I ask you the question then, at work, do your opinions seem to count? A little measure, if you give your opinion, does it matter? Are you being engaged? And I had 71% of you agreeing and only 29% disagreeing. Wellness. So wellness within the organisation reduces sickness absence by 1.8 days per year. Okay, these are not my figures, by the way. I should have said this is all backed up on empirical research. Okay, reduces absence by 1.8 days per year. So we keep those engaged employees in the workplace rather than going sick. Or if they are sick, maybe they get over their sickness a bit quicker. How can we improve it? I love this one. Walk around frequently, provide healthy snacks, offer a gym membership. So they're just some ideas up there. Okay, some of the things we do already as an organisation, for example, is the flu voucher. That's a good example of how we are trying to improve employees' wellness. Am I going to start offering free gym membership down at Virgin? Don't think so. Can we offer discounts? Yeah, why not? That's a simple sort of benefit that can actually come out through the organisation. Do I encourage you to walk and run lots? Yes, you've seen my communications that have come out on that one. Okay, so I ask you the question, does your manager or someone at work seem to care about you as a person? And I was really encouraged by this particular result, very encouraged. 90% said yes. Somebody in the workplace or their manager actually cares about them. Okay, and I was very, very encouraged by that because that means there is those open communication channels between staff and their line managers or their peers. Fantastic. We've got to retain these sort of levels in some of these questions, that's for sure. Company alignment. The way that employees align themselves with the company's core values has a direct effect on the bottom line profits. Okay, so if we can recruit and retain and train people that match our core values, naturally that's going to feed through to our strategic goals as an organisation. Okay, so if you have those personal values that we have as an organisation, it naturally feeds through. It's not, yes, there is science behind this, but it's not difficult to sort of relate that into your brains, to be completely honest. How do we improve? Well, we keep repeating the core values. How do we do them? Well, we have them on lovely big posters. We talk about them at appraisal process. We measure against them. We reward against them, etc. We inspire you with a mission, and we teach our employees that vision as well. These sort of events are classic areas to improve on these areas. I've mentioned so many times today that not many organisations will shut down all their offices, invite all their employees to a central location, have central seminars, and then a meal and a rewards evening as well. Not many organisations do that anymore. So it is good that it happens within this organisation. It's absolutely brilliant to see it happening. So I asked you again, are your values aligned to that of the organisation? And I got 70% agreeing. Again, encouraging sort of results that we got from that little straw poll that we did. Workplace satisfaction. Have open, honest communication so that employees can say if their work is meaningful to them or not. How do we do that? Well, we pay fairly, we enable employees, and we give clarity on their job role. Just 3 ideas of how you can actually improve those areas. I asked you this question. I know what is expected of me at work, i.e. do you know why you're here and why you're doing your job role? What your roles and responsibilities are. And we get in there a nice whopping 89% understand what their role is. And I say it's a nice whopping result because I've looked at this in other organisations before and I've never seen it that high. So it's good to see there is that clarity in job descriptions, there is that clarity in conversations with line managers as well. Am I still all right with time? Well, just conscious.
Do you want to mention about the response rates?
Yep, I can do, yep. So obviously I pushed this out last week, just after Lizzie announced what the seminars was going to be, and I distributed it, I think it was across 350, 300, so the whole group, and I got 90 responses in. Okay, so it's not bad, not as high as the employee satisfaction survey though, I must admit, but yeah, so a good response rate, definitely. Relationship with colleagues then. According to research, socialising with colleagues is the only thing proven to make them as happy as when you're not at work. So this is, do we enjoy engaging with our peers, going out for social drinks, lunch, evening meals and things like that? So I asked you the nice, have you got a best friend at work? I thought, do you have nice hugs with your best friend at work every day? And look, 40% of you do. I thought that was brilliant. 40% of you do have a best friend at work, which is fantastic to actually see. Okay, so feedback then. Number 7, we're nearly at the 10 pillars. So 14.9% lower turnover rates in companies that implement regular employee feedback. Okay, how do we do that? Well, you have those regular check-ins, those one-to-ones. You encourage that sort of peer feedback as well. You know, speak to your colleagues. How am I doing? Give me a bit of feedback. What could I improve? And also ask for those new ideas. And you have the mechanisms out there like, you know, your appraisal sort of process, your one-to-ones, like I've already said, central communications, etc. I ask you the question, I have regular feedback from my line manager through team meetings, one-to-ones, performance reviews, etc., i.e. there is open and honest communication going on with your line manager. So I had 75% agree and 25% that disagree. Recognition then, 78% of employees said being recognised motivates them in their job. And this is the old cliche, it's not all about money. Okay, some people think that recognition's all about here's an extra bit of salary or here's a one-off bonus. Okay, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me, quite a lot of us, including me, just like that thank you every so often. Or just like that recognition, well done on that. You know, you really went above and beyond on that, I'm really impressed. You know, it's simple things like that. And we always, as individuals, as organisations, we're always focusing in on the negatives. And we're always thinking, oh God, I've got to sort out this problem, I've got to sort out this issue. We actually forget about a lot of the positives that go on. And we need to take stock as managers, leaders, as individuals, and often remember all the good things as well. Because there is a lot of good things going on in the organisation, a lot of good work. And sometimes all we need is just that little bit of recognition of someone appreciating the work that I've actually done. Not me personally, obviously, I mean you. So how to improve? You know, praise once a week, ask co-workers to praise, be specific with praise. Okay, it's one of the reasons why in the new people HR system, we turned on that simple thanks tool. Very, very simple tool that we've turned on that the company has embraced very well. And it's a simple, quickly way to thank someone publicly in that, and it goes a long, long way. So I asked you, have you received recognition or praise for good work in the last month? 68% of you said that you did. Personal growth. So companies that invest more in training and career development outperform their peers, i.e. the organisation invests in its people, in its staff. Okay, how can we do that? Encourage side projects. So this is expanding people's horizons, providing the platforms for continuous learning. We are all learning all the time. Of course we are. We've got to give that ability for you to continuously learn as well. And then carry on repeating that mission so it's always in our heads. Why are we here? Why does the organisation exist? And I asked you the question, at work I've had the opportunities to learn and grow. 73% of you agreed with that statement. By the way, I'm not saying this is all brilliant. You know, just because these are very strong results that are coming out, there's still a lot of work to do, which of course we'll be talking to you about shortly. Ambassadorship. The question is to ask employees on a scale of 0 to 10 how likely they are to refer a friend or a colleague to work at HML. How do we improve that? Well, emphasise people's purposes, conduct stay interviews. So this is the, you know, we all know about the HR exit sort of interviews. Well, actually, shouldn't we be doing it a bit before and talking around, you know, why should people stay? Should it be a surprise to a manager or leader when someone's leaving the organisation? If you're a good leader or a good manager, it shouldn't be a surprise because you've already had those conversations. And actual committed employees who love their job will often tell their manager long in advance, you know, I'm at the stage now in my career, I need to look for something else. Doesn't mean they're being disloyal, they're just actually even more loyal to their manager. And get feedback on the culture. This is where the employee satisfaction survey does come in, so we can understand how we are doing as an organisation and a culture change. I asked you that question. 70%, 68% said they would. They would recommend HML. They would recommend the group to peers, colleagues, friends, families as well. as a good organisation to work for.